Buen provecho.
Buen provecho.
Ooh. Hot coffee.
Our ritualistic morning coffee, which is paid for with Bitcoin Lightning.
Yes. Yeah. So we've just done the My First Bitcoin Diploma. Now on the My First Bitcoin Diploma, I'm just trying to remember, but there wasn't a huge difference in what they talked about in regards to having a cold storage wallet.
Yeah.
And then also a Bitcoin wallet on your phone.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the difference between the two?
Great question. So I will start with a software wallet that's on the phone. And so, for example, if somebody downloads a wallet from a exchange, there's actually a good chance that you won't get your keys when you download that wallet to use it. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use it, because it's actually one of the most convenient ways to actually get Bitcoin from other people to yourself. Just don't use it as a long-term storage.
Yeah.
So the next step in the chain, and you don't have to take this step, you can skip this step, but is common to download a wallet such as the BlueWallet or the Moon wallet, the Green wallet, and on those wallets you can get your seed phrase, which are the 12 to 24 words, and you can back that up and protect your Bitcoin that way. So if this exchange that you purchased your Bitcoin was on is turned off, you still have access to your Bitcoin. You can restore it and use it.
Yep.
Now, the security risk there is if your phone is compromised or you lose your phone, it could potentially cause a problem if you didn't back up your seed phrase properly. Now, the next step is to actually do it where you don't even create the seed phrase on your phone or your computer, but you use a third-party device, which is what a hardware wallet is all about. So this is an example of a hardware wallet. We've used a number of them now. This one is fully air-gapped, which means that it doesn't come with Wi-Fi, it doesn't come with Bluetooth, and you technically don't even connect it to your computer with a cable. We have a cable, and we use a third-party power device, which we can use to connect these two together. Now, this is an Apple USB powered device, which if I would start to be a bit suspicious about these, because there's potential that Apple could actually put a low-cost Bluetooth chip in there to send data back and forth in case anything was connected to that. That's going down the really paranoid path. We'll just put that over there. So what this does is this allows us to create the 12 or 24 word seed phrase and even put a passphrase on top without ever touching an online device.
Yep. Impressive.
So they're the three levels of wallets. Yep. Wallet 1 is hosted by a third party, such as an exchange where you buy your Bitcoin. Wallet 2 is a easy to install software wallet where you can back up your seed phrase, and option 3 is to buy a hardware device and do it all offline.
Right. So are you going to show?
Yeah, I'd love to show everybody
how we can work this. Perfect.
And we will actually connect this with the BlueWallet, and we'll set it up where even though it's connected to the BlueWallet, you can't spend anything without this. Let's go. A couple of things to note before you start. We recommend using a third-party power supply, which we've got here. It's not connected to our PC deliberately, just in case there's any software that might try and hack your SeedSigner when it's connected to your PC. We're also using a UPS or an uninterrupted power supply, which is literally a battery that's plugged in on the ground. The reason we do that is because that if the power goes out while we're doing this process, we'll lose the seed that's on this device. That's actually a security feature of the device. Welcome. We're going to create a cold wallet using something called the SeedSigner today, and I've got a little logo here as well. The SeedSigner bounces around the screen. We're going to do this together. A couple of things that you need to know when you order a SeedSigner is that it will not come with a cable, so you will need to buy a USB cable, and this is just a standard one. We are also plugging our one into a separate power supply. You will also need to buy a micro SD card when you use it, and for our laptop we needed a adapter which allows us to plug it in together. Once you've purchased and received your SeedSigner, you will actually receive a piece of paper which has instructions on it. And on the instructions, it will tell you what model of SeedSigner you have. So we ordered ours before it was actually a thing, so the support was really good and they were able to confirm with us that we had a Pi 0. On this instruction set, it actually tells us where to go to download the firmware that you're going to put on this little card. And the instructions are reasonably clear. If you've ever flashed a card before, you can download the open source software and flash the card for free reasonably quickly. It was actually one of the easiest firmware upgrades that we have done, because in the past we've done firmware upgrades on other hardware devices, and because it's proprietary software and hardware, it was a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nicki's experience.
Yes, yeah.
Alright. Okay, so we're going to skip the firmware flashing. We're going to provide a video down in the description where you can learn to do it in your own time. So we actually already have it flashed. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this little micro SD card in the end of our hardware wallet.
Okay, so I'm going to get the micro SD card and I'm going to slip it in. And as you can see, if you can
bring it a bit closer.
See, there's the gold things there. And I need to put them into the gold, touching the gold bottom bits here. So I'm going to slip that in down in there, and in it goes.
Excellent.
Okay.
There's no power button on this device. All of these buttons are only for control. There's no battery inside it either. And there is a power point in here. So Nicki's going to plug it into the power.
Okay, so go. Plugged in. Nothing's happening.
Alright. So it will take maybe a minute for it to load. So it does need to load the software, and then it will become, once it's loaded, it will actually put the logo on the screen. Something to note while we're waiting for it to load is that we have purposefully gone and connected it to a separate power supply. The reason we've done that is to demonstrate part of the security of this device, in that if you connect it to your laptop, there's a possibility that somebody could put bad software on your laptop that actually waits for hardware devices to connect. And then what they could do is they could try and read the hardware device and steal any information that might be on there.
Now, as you will see, it started to lighten up, and we've got the SeedSigner logo, and we've now, and then goes to a home page or a home screen. So we've got the home screen, and it's got 4 different areas. We've got scan, seeds, tools, and settings.
So something to note here is the scan option means that it's actually got a camera on it. So if Nicki turns the device around, that black circle there is actually the camera, which is pretty cool. We're going to stick to the basics with this, and we're going to create a seed, and then we're going to connect it to a BlueWallet, which can be downloaded onto most mobile devices. Then you can send Bitcoin to your cold wallet without ever having to connect your wallet to the internet, making it an incredibly secure wallet.
Right, let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. We're gonna create a seed. That's gonna be the first thing. Nicki's gonna use the navigation on here, and she's gonna select seed. So she's going to use the little joystick, and she can either push the joystick in the middle, or I believe the 3 buttons also work as well.
So we're good to go. Yes,
here we go.
Okay.
So we've just loaded the seeds menu, and this gives us the option to import an existing seed if we want. We can do that using the scan QR code, which uses the little camera on the front, or we can manually enter in our 12 or 24 seed words. But this time we're going to create a seed.
So we're going to use the joystick to go down, and then push the joystick in the center, and we've got new seed. So we've got new seed, and then does it calculate?
Yes.
12, the 12th at 24 word address.
Okay. Alright, so what these options actually are is the new seed, it's got a little camera to the left of it, and what that means is we're going to take a photo if we use this option, and what that does is it actually salts the seed process. So inside this device it actually generates a random number, but the chips can actually be predictable. The new seed option, it's got a camera next to it. The reason it has a camera next to it is because you take a photo, and what that photo is then used for is to actually salt the seed words. And it's to make it more random, because the randomness chip inside the hardware is actually predictable. It's very hard to do it, but it's possible. So you can do things like you taking a photo to add salt. You can use dice, which is where you put in random numbers to randomize your choice. There is a calculate the 12th and 24th word, where you basically get to salt the words that are going into your 12th or 24th word seed phrase. We're just going to use the camera option because it's fun and easy. So let's do it.
Okay, all right. Okay. So
take a photo of our screen. It's got lots of images going on.
okay, yep.
So on the screen it now has options which are reject or accept. On this one you may actually need to use the joystick to go to the right.
12 words. Okay.
Alright, what does it say?
It comes up with a classified info. You must keep your seed words private and away from all online devices.
Okay.
And then it's got in red the understand.
Do not use the seed phrase we're about to share with you guys. We're not going to use it. Don't send any funds to this, because somebody on the internet will most likely watch this video and go, oh wow, I'm going to write a script that keeps track of this and steal any funds that come into it. So please, for your own safety, we're going to share what we do so you can actually see it, but don't use this wallet, and don't send any funds to this wallet.
No. All right. Okay. So I should be able to down scroll to the I understand, or no, I just can click done. All right.
So we now need to write these words down, and Nicki's going to write them down.
Cool.
The order of the words is really important. So each word has a number next to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through to 12. It's really important that you get the words right, because if you have one word wrong, it's going to be quite hard to try and remember or guess what the answer is.
I'm going to go next.
Yes.
Okay, verify backup. Optionally verify that your
mnemonic backup is
correct.
Okay. I highly recommend you verify. Please verify. Don't be lazy and skip this step.
Okay, so to verify this, do I now need to go back to verify it, or
No.
what?
I
can verify.
You select the option.
Select the option.
So you had two options to verify or skip.
Okay, verify word 5.
So what Nicki needs to do right now is she is given a question. Verify word number 5. And then she's given 4 words.
Okay.
This is why it's important to write the numbers down next to your words as well,
Right,
so you make sure you
10.
have the correct order.
Nicki didn't put her numbers next to it. So it takes a little bit. Word 12.
So I recommend writing the numbers next to the words. At the time, you will think, oh, I'll remember. But sometimes some of the phrases actually write them down in blocks. They're like, you go 1 to 4, and then they have a block to the right, and then they have a block underneath and a block underneath. Knowing whether it's going down and then up, or then down, up, is is not always obvious when you come back to look at it later.
And so once you finish that, got backup verified with a green tick, success. Sorry.
All mnemonic backup words were successfully verified. What we actually did is we went through all of the words to make sure that we had all of them correct. Some wallets only get you to check 3 or 4 words out of the entire seed phrase. It's a bit of a shortcut because they work on the theory, if you've got 3 or 4 of them right, you'll be okay. But, I mean, if you really want to verify, doing all of them is actually a really good option.
I just got OK to push, and then finalize seed. So we've been given a code here.
And this code is actually called a fingerprint. We talked about hashing in the diploma, where you can put in a whole heap of information and you get a really simple code back. This has given us how many characters? 2, 4, 6, and 8 character fingerprint, which is really easy for us to identify instead of having to read an address or the seed words every single time. So if we write down that little fingerprint on our seed words, at the moment we're keeping our seed words on a piece of paper, but what we're actually going to do is we are going to put them all on this card. This is a 5x5 card that we purchased with our SeedSigner. We've actually got a block of them so we can make backups and have multiple wallets. You can also write your seed words on the back. We will also write our fingerprint in the top here, and you can put a note like the name of the wallet that you're doing. So for example, if you had a savings wallet, and let's say James had a savings wallet and Nicki had a savings wallet, we could easily write those down in the bottom. This device also allows for more advanced options such as multi-sig wallet setup. So for example, if we created a multi-sig, we could create 3 different seeds, one for me, one for Nicki, and one that we shared. And then we could write the name on the bottom here so we always know.
So I've written that down and we can go done.
On the screen before this one, where we do our fingerprint, it actually asked us a question if we wanted to add a passphrase. That passphrase is a password, effectively, which we can add on top of our 12 words. So we're not going to do that today because we don't want to make this more difficult than it needs to be right now. For your own personal security, it might be a good idea to actually add a passphrase on top of your 12 seed words. And this gives you an option to do that when you're creating the wallet. That way, if somebody still finds this QR code that we're going to create in a couple of moments, it's no good to them without the passphrase, which is basically like a password. Now that we have a seed phrase or a wallet that we've gone and created with this device, and technically we've backed it up on our piece of paper, we're now going to do the fun part first before we go and do the important part. We've got our phone and we have BlueWallet, and on the BlueWallet what we're going to do is we're going to create a new wallet and import this seed phrase. So the first thing we're going to do is on here we're going to choose export XPub. And if you did the diploma with us, you will know what an XPub is. And we're going to choose a single signature XPub. And we're just going to choose the native SegWit because it's the latest format and it gives us the most options. Then it's asking us which wallet we would like to connect to, and we're going to choose BlueWallet. Nunchuck is quite advanced. Sparrow is a really good option for privacy, and it's actually got a lot of features built into it. And I haven't actually used Spectre Desktop, but I know it also comes with the Umbrella Pi. We're going to use BlueWallet because we know that most people have a mobile phone, and that's where you do most of your transactions. Privacy leak. XPub can be used to view all future transactions. So what happens with your XPub is it shows all of the addresses inside of your wallet. And that means that if somebody got hold of the XPub, they could then go, oh, hey, you made payments to person A, B, and C, and then they can start to make connections between your private life and your payments without too many problems. We're going to share it with our BlueWallet, and Of course, if somebody ever got hold of the XPub on the BlueWallet, that would be the security risk. It doesn't mean that anybody can steal your Bitcoin. It just means that they can make a privacy connection with your account. So we have our fingerprint and we have a diveration path. And the I believe I'm saying a diveration path. We have a diveration path, and that's actually quite important. Tells any wallet software the maths behind how the wallet was generated. I think that's the best way to explain it. And then it's also got our XPub. So it's actually a smart idea to write the diveration path down with your seed phrase. And that way, if somebody is trying to restore the wallet, they don't have to try multiple diveration paths to try and work out which one it is. So we'll actually write this one down next to ours. And then what we're going to do is we're going to choose export XPub. The item that's highlighted orange is actually the one that's going to be actioned when you push the button. And now we're being presented with a QR code. That QR code is our XPub. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you both at the same time. So if you want to go back over here a little bit. Yep, perfect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open our BlueWallet to create a new wallet. And then we're going to use import wallet. And with this import, we can scan or import a file. And obviously, we're going to scan the QR code that we have there. So if Nicki, can you please go back and back a little bit? There we go. And you'll see that we just imported. And let's have a look. Your wallet has been successfully imported. Warning, this is a watch-only wallet. You cannot spend from it.
Cool.
So what that means is that to spend from it, you will need the SeedSigner. Inside this wallet, you can actually receive Bitcoin. People can send Bitcoin to this address, and it's not going to the wallet on the phone. It's actually going to the wallet that you've created with your SeedSigner. And this wallet has never seen the internet. Well, this wallet has seen the internet. But when you do it, it won't see the internet. Just for example, I'm going to push the send button, and it tells us that it is a watch-only address. And when we go through the process, it will actually ask us to sign this with a SeedSigner, or with the SeedSigner. We're going to turn this into a QR code that also has our seed words on it. So we'll write our seed words on the back, and then we'll create a QR code that actually allows us to scan in our seed words in one easy go. On the SeedSigner, we're going to select seeds. And at the moment, our fingerprint is in there, and we're going to select the fingerprint. And then what we're actually going to do here is we're actually going to export the seed. We're going to back up the seed. So we have two options here. We can view the seed words and write them on the back, but we've already written them on the piece of paper over there, so we don't need to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to export the seed QR. We specifically ordered a 5x5 or 25 square card, and Nicki's got two choices on here. She can either use 25x25 or a compact 21x21. We're going to choose the 25x25 because that's the QR code that we have. Remember, don't speak your seed word out when you write it down because your phone might be listening. Alexa might be listening. When you write it down, don't leave it somewhere or that it can be easily imprinted. Don't take a photo of it. As soon as you take a photo of it, your phone is most likely going to try and upload it to a cloud drive. As soon as it goes to a cloud drive, it means that AI potentially has it and they can scan it.
Caution. Seed QR is your private key. Never photograph it or scan it into an online device. And then you need to understand that one. Okay. We've now been given.
Yep. So it's showing us the QR code that we're going to create. And what we're going to do is we're going to begin dotting these with our pen.
Okay.
You want to get this right because if you make a mistake, obviously it's going to scan in the wrong QR code.
Right, so we're going to begin. So what it shows you is, it's showing you is the first block of the 5x5 box on your 25. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, so your A1.
The first corner is already done. We don't need to edit that, because what it is it's actually a marker to show the camera which way the QR code is orientated. So we're now going to go to the right one.
Right, and we're just using the...
Yep, use the joystick. Okay.
Yep.
And this is now A2. So on our card here, we can see the letters down the side, A and the number 2. So what we're actually looking at there is we need to color in the black dots. So there's 4 of them on the right hand side there that we need to mimic the same. So it's best to have a reasonably accurate marker or Sharpie pen, because this is an important job. Let's go to the right one. This one's a little more complicated. Let's give it a go. Okay, let's do the next one. Alright, A4. Let's do it. Thanks to some movie magic, we've actually gone and now done our QR code. So we did 50-50 each. It actually took us quite a bit of time, and it's quite painstaking to make sure that you do it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're now going to test it, and the best way to test it is to delete your seed and start again. So from the home screen, we're going to select seeds, and I'm just going to note here that you'll notice that it mentions plural, which means that you can put multiple seeds into this device at the same time if you want to. We've only got one at the moment, and we're going to delete it. So let's select it.
Okay, yep.
And we're going to discard the seed.
Discard seed. White seed 1343 EBF9 from the device. And we're going to down and discard. Cool, it's gone.
Now if you go to seeds, it should be gone. Okay,
Yes.
and it's back at the start. During this process, we have actually used a third-party power supply. Something that I want to highlight is we are in El Salvador, where the power can basically turn off at any moment. And the reason that that's important is because if you're creating the seed on this device and you haven't backed it up before the power goes out and it resets the device, which is what would happen using this, you will lose whatever you've done. We are connected to a UPS, or an uninterrupted power supply, which is literally a battery which is running full time. So if the power in the room goes out, our SeedSigner will still stay on, which will give us time to back it up and make sure nothing happens. Because if we turned it off, it would automatically erase whatever's on there. This is a security feature. So for example, if you are under duress, somebody came in the room and wanted to get hold of this, you could easily just go boop, and all the information on it is gone. Now the only thing is if you have this handy, they're going to be able to scan it, and they're going to be able to get your QR code, your seed words. That is why before we actually spoke about putting a passphrase on top of your seed words. That is an extra security layer. So if somebody did come into the room, you've just turned off the seed phrase that was on the device. It's gone. It's not on there anymore. They have this QR code, which they could scan. But if they don't know the passphrase that's inside your head, it's no good to them, even with this. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to recover that seed phrase that we just, let's just say the power went out and we lost it. We're now going to recover it with this, and we're going to show you how.
Okay.
Oh, so the first thing we need to do is plug it back in and power it back up. It takes about a minute for that to happen.
Okay. So let's hope our QR scan works.
Let's test it.
Let's test it.
Let's see how good our drawing skills are.
Right, so we're going to go to seed.
Yep. Oh, actually, We might be able to scan it.
Just scan it straight. Okay. Scan. There we go. Right. Now the camera is on that. So, here we go.
It was fast.
It was. Finalise seed. And it's given us the fingerprint there, which is the same fingerprint as we had before. Yeah?
Yep.
And so we go done.
Excellent. So that was how quick it was to restore your seed phrase back into your SeedSigner.
Yeah.
The reason you want it to be nice and quick, where you don't have to manually fiddle around to put the words in, is because we're not going to go into it tonight, but if you want to send from your watch-only wallet, you will need to sign the transaction with your SeedSigner to do that. And that is why the pass phrase on top of your seed words is really important, because it's actually the security step you need in case somebody actually found this, which is super convenient to load your seed words.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, you don't actually want anybody to get hold of this. You want to make sure you keep one in an incredibly safe place that is convenient to you, and we would highly recommend keeping a second one in a second location which is very secure. So if you can leave it at a family member's house, but in a way that they can't tamper with it or check it, that would be a great option. Don't go and put it in a safety deposit box in the bank because banks are not your friend here.
So this was a basic setup for your SeedSigner, and we are going to put a link below.
That link actually links to Ben from BTC Sessions. He has done some really great breakdowns of the SeedSigner, where he actually goes and he shows you how to build it from scratch. He also shows you how to set up wallets in more detail, and then he also sends and receives with a wallet like BlueWallet and also the Sparrow wallet, which is a high security, high privacy wallet. Another really cool security feature of the SeedSigner is that this is 3D printed, and you can buy the board that's inside it from the Raspberry Pi store, and then you can download the software from it from another location as well, which is actually, all of it is open source and available to be audited. The reason that that is really important is I purchased a Ledger really early on because that was one of the main hardware wallets that you would purchase. My Ledger was never at risk. What was at risk was their web store that I purchased from. Because I had to buy their hardware with their software from their store, when the hackers hacked their store, they now had my phone number, they had my physical address, and they knew my name, and they knew I had cryptocurrency of some description, because the Ledger allows people to put multiple things on there. That's a huge security risk. What's great about the SeedSigner is it removes that choke point. You can 3D print your case, you can buy the Raspberry Pi from a completely different location. People use Raspberry Pi boards for all sorts of things every single day, not just for Bitcoin activities. It's as simple as downloading some software which is open source off the internet, flashing a standard SD card, and you're good to go. And it's actually cost effective.
And it was pretty simple to put together.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to this. If you haven't watched our Bitcoin Diploma, please go and check it out.